today's work is going to be primarily based on demand, but that being said, we are also going to be using today's work for tomorrow. So before I go any further, I do want to draw your attention over here. The dots for implicit and explicit. Number one, I got Monday's work graded. I'll be giving that back to you, but those are Monday's dots. Yesterday's work, I haven't looked at it yet. I'm going to look at it tonight, update the dots. Tomorrow's your last opportunity to get a dot for implicit and explicit. Today's work will be used tomorrow. So I'm telling you right now that if you don't do today's work, you're more or less guaranteeing yourself that you won't get a dot tomorrow. Okay, so today is important, and it does translate to tomorrow. Does that make sense? What you do today, we're using tomorrow. So you need to make sure that you're on task and really working today so that you're prepared to get a dot tomorrow. Does that work? Yeah. Okay. All right.
What if you already got a dot?
The more dots you have, the higher your grade. So to begin, guys, we need to talk about the two different types of on-demand real quick. The first one we have already talked about is the informational. Informational, just so you guys know, is also called explanatory. If I'm saying write an explanatory essay, you're writing an essay that does what? Explains. Okay? It's 45 minutes. It doesn't come with a passage. Okay, so you may have a little bit of something for you to read, but really this is all on you. It will be 5 paragraphs, an intro, 3 bodies, and a conclusion. And it will be bias-free. What I mean by bias-free, you're keeping your opinion out of it as much as possible, and you're trying to be as factual as possible. The argument one, which is the one we're focusing on today, will be 90 minutes long. And the reason it's 90 minutes long is because it comes with a passage that you have to read first and that you use as evidence. Okay, so they give you the extra time to give you the time to read the article. It will be 5 paragraphs, again. It will have an intro and 2 bodies, but the paragraph that comes after the second body is what we're going to call the rebuttal. And we're going to talk about what that means and how to write it. And then it's bias-free, kind of. What I mean by that is, let's say Ishmael and I are in an argument about whether we should buy new desks. Ishmael believes we should get new desks. Isn't that technically his opinion? Yeah. His opinion shows up because that's his claim. So what we want to make sure that we're seeing is that while we have some opinion, we want to, again, remain as factual as possible. We want to be credible. We want to be believable. And we're not believable if it's just our opinion and nothing else. Does that make sense? Give me a thumbs up if that makes sense to you, please. Okay. So, yes, sir? Go ahead. The biggest difference between the informational and the argumentative is this, the rebuttal. We need to talk about how to write this rebuttal. First thing I'm going to have you do, jot this down. You may jot it down in your notebook, on one of the pieces of paper you picked up, anywhere that you'll keep it and remember it. All right? So go ahead and get this copy down, and I'll talk about it in 1 second. So, after we write the intro in 2 bodies, we will have what's called the rebuttal. First thing the rebuttal does is it offers the counterclaim. It offers the counterclaim, or in this case, the counterargument. Does anybody know what that word means? Counterargument. Tim?
Both sides? Like,
Very, very close.
or will you like agree with one side and turn around and agree with the other one?
You're on the right track. You're almost there. If Tim offers me an argument and I counter it, do you know what that means? If I counter his argument?
Turn it around.
Not so much turn it around, but offer the other side. Okay? The counter argument is the other side of your argument. So if Ishmael believes that we should buy new desks, what is the counter argument?
We shouldn't.
You shouldn't.
We should not. Perfect. Okay? So the rebuttal, the first thing it does is offer the counter argument, and then it explains why your argument is better, is superior. Why do we want to acknowledge the counterclaim? Why do we want to look at the other argument?
Be a better argument.
How? Why?
If, like, he want a new desk, but we don't really need them, it's like wasting money.
Okay? You're getting there. If I know Ishmael's going to argue that we need new desks, but before he can even offer his argument, I give an argument as to why we shouldn't. What have I done to Ishmael's argument? I've almost ruined it. I've almost made it false. Okay? And by doing that, I inherently make mine a little bit stronger. Okay? By making his look weaker, I make mine look stronger. So I'm going to show you an example. You don't have to write this down, okay? But we're going to kind of talk through it. Let's say this is your prompt. I'm asking you to create an argument about whether or not it should be illegal to talk on the phone while driving. The first thing I'm going to have, or that I'm going to need, is my thesis. What's my thesis going to look like?
It's.
Doesn't depend on if it's yes or no.
When you say that if it's effective or not, in the thesis.
I know what you're getting at. It's not quite there yet because I'm not asking about effectiveness.
Wouldn't it be if you agree on yes or no?
Excellent. It's my claim. It's whether I agree with this or not. All right? And the other thing you would do in your thesis is offer your reasons. So I might say, it should be illegal to talk on a cell phone while driving because, and then I'll offer 2 reasons. Why am I choosing 2 reasons?
Back with evidence.
It does back up the evidence, but I told you it's 5-paragraph essay. How many body paragraphs did I say there were going to be?
3, 2.
2. 2 bodies and a rebuttal. Okay? So 2 reasons will be 2 body paragraphs. So this might be my argument, my claim. It should be illegal to talk on a cell phone while driving because it distracts the driver and puts other drivers at risk. Okay? There's my claim. Now that being said, I know for my rebuttal I need to acknowledge the other side. So, if I say it should be illegal, what is the counter argument?
It should not be.
It should not be illegal. Okay? There you go. It should not be illegal. And you would say something like this. All right? You would say something like that, and then you would explain why your opinion is better. Now here's the nice thing. Rebuttals, they're also SREE. The format is not changing. What does change, however, is kind of what the R does. In constructed responses, when you're looking at literary elements, you talk about what element is chosen and why the author chose that. The R is the reason the author chose that, right? But we're not talking about literary elements. So what the R becomes here for the rebuttal is you explain what the opposition believes and why they believe that. You explain what they believe and why they believe that. So the S would be stating the counterclaim. The R would be explain what they believe and why. Your E would become an example, and your second E would be your explanation. That doesn't change. So it may end up looking like this. Others believe that it should not be illegal to talk on your cell phone while driving. There's the counterclaim, right? While they may argue that talking on a cell phone does not impair a driver's ability to see and navigate the road, A cell phone causes one hand to be off the wheel, and it keeps the driver's attention more focused on the conversation. So I've said what they believe, why they believe it, and then what did I do?
You explain why that's.
I already explained why they believe it. What did I do after that?
You have an example?
No, there's no example here. I explained why they believe that, then what's this doing in the second part?
Reason, so it's, as the counter on
Close.
Your opinion.
Closer.
That's why it's wrong.
Why it's wrong. Okay? I've said what they believe, why they believe it, and now I've said why they're wrong. So then I get to my first E. For example, a driver that is deep in conversation is less likely to notice cars slowing down or a stoplight changing to red. So I've said what they believe, why they believe it, why they're wrong, and I've shown an example of why they're wrong. And then I write, this example highlights the importance of my argument because it demonstrates specifically how a cell phone impairs a driver and could put other drivers in harm's way. What they believe, why they believe it, why they're wrong, an example of why they're wrong, and then I explain it. This is what a rebuttal would look like. Okay? So you guys are actually going to practice this, but the way you're going to practice rebuttal is actually by working with on-demand argument in general. So we're going to look at a couple different documents, guys. There are a lot of moving parts here.
I'm just writing a rebuttal.
No. So what I want you guys to do is follow along with me because there's a bunch of different pieces you need to look at. Here's the first one. Okay, everybody take a look at this paper here. And then guys, just so you know, I screwed up. Turn that paper over. Here's your prompt. It's at the bottom. There's your prompt. Okay? So what you're looking at as you begin to craft your on-demand today is should students be required to take standardized tests? And for those of you who don't know, standardized tests could be ACT, could be COSA, could be Compass, could be Coyote, okay? All of you guys,
stupid name.
it could be your end of course, which you guys take this year.
Cats test too?
There is no such thing as cats anymore, but that was an example. Okay? So these ideas, when we talk about standardized tests, think about tests that you have to take to go to college. That's what we're talking about here. Alrighty? So, we know what we're talking about. We need to form an opinion about whether we think students should take standardized tests. Turn the paper over again, please. This whole article is about reasons why you should and shouldn't have to. When it says yes here, it's why you should. Copy that? You can copy it if you want. I'm helping you guys be able to do this in a moment. And on the back where it says no, this is reasons why you shouldn't. Okay. So the first step is read the article. Once you do that, you're going to look at this page. And the first thing I want you to do, notice up here, next to pros, I wrote for it. Cons, I wrote against it. That's what those mean. So in the pros box, you're going to talk about reasons why there should be standardized testing. And in the cons box, you'll talk about reasons why there should not be standardized testing. Where are you going to get that information from? Passage. Perfect. Once you read the passage, you'll fill in those boxes. And then you're going to come down to this section here, and you're going to make your claim, your thesis statement. And it's going to start like this. You can copy that. You can steal that. You can take it. I don't care. It's going to begin with, I believe that there, and you would say, should be standardized testing, or should not be standardized testing. And then you're going to finish it with because, and you'll offer 2 reasons.
In your own word?
Say it again?
In your own word?
Yes. In your own words. But that being said, where are you getting those reasons from, Shamsa? From the passage. Okay? So you can reword them a little bit for yourself, but you're not making this stuff up. It's there. All right? Now, there's more to this. You will be doing more with it. However, right here, please notice that it says that I do not want you doing anything else until I've checked your thesis statement. The reason is because as I've looked at your work from the last 2 days, I've noticed that some people are confusing statements with claims. What I mean by that is, for example, the people who read the rap lyrics called Same Love that was about gays having equal rights, the claim would be Macklemore believes that there should be equal rights for gay people. That's the claim. That's his argument, right? Some people put down gay people. Can I argue gay people? No. That's the main idea. That's the topic, but it's not the claim. So before you guys move on, I want to check your claims.
So the thesis statement is the claim.
Yes, ma'am. So I've offered you guys kind of a list of suggestions on how today should work. I want you guys, your real goal is within 15 minutes, get through number 3. Within 15 minutes, you should get through number 3. Okay? Does that make sense? Yes? No? Give me some feedback here.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Go ahead. Get working. I'll come around and help you guys, and I'll give you the next steps in a few minutes. The next step to this is this part here. Now, some of you got here and some of you didn't. This part here, what it's basically doing is stepping you through how to write a body paragraph. What I didn't want to do is just hand you the paper and say, okay, now write. I wanted to kind of show you how it was done. So this part here, how it would actually begin would be, I believe that there should or should not be standardized testing is because, and then what you'll do is you'll put your first reason. Okay, you put your first reason, and then you would answer the R. Why is that true? Why do you think that's true? Then you'd give evidence, and on the back, you would offer your explanation. Okay? Now, for tomorrow's work, for the work for tomorrow, if you haven't gotten that part done yet, don't worry about it, but I do want to draw your attention to this paper here. Your work for tomorrow, what you must come into this room tomorrow with, is everything above this blue line. Okay? You're going to come in with your introduction and your body paragraphs. Let me show you this in a different way. Here's how tomorrow's going to work. For homework tonight, you're going to finish your introduction based on that checklist you have in front of you with your thesis statement, and then you'll have 2 body paragraphs. Honestly, guys, it shouldn't take you more than 15 to 20 minutes worth of work. If it's taking you longer than that, my guess is either A, you're not understanding, or B, you're doing too much. Okay? It should really take you no more than 20 minutes. Tomorrow when you come in, I'm going to give you another 20 minutes, and you'll write the rebuttal and the conclusion. And then we'll use what you have written for our activity for implicit and explicit argument tomorrow. Okay? But let me reiterate this for you. If you don't do this tonight, if you don't do the homework part, you're going to be behind when we do the second part, which means you're probably not going to be able to do the work to get the dot for your grade. Okay? Do you understand how I followed that through?
Yep.
Okay. So, homework for tonight, finish your intro and your 2 bodies, you keep everything. Here's what I need from you. Here's what I need from you. All I need you to do is this.
So
You can do it on a separate piece of paper, guys. You're going to start actually writing your essay. Yeah.
So you just copy what the questions were, not like the questions, but like what you wrote down for the questions?
Yep,
Okay.
exactly. Here's what I need from you, please. You're going to keep everything. Do me a favor. Help me put the desks back into groups. Okay? So before we leave, pack everything up
Well, I just like this anyway.
and help me put everything into the group.